Hopefully everybody can hear me. Okay. If not, I do have a external mic I can add to the live. Just let me know when you join if you can or cannot hear me. We'll go from there. Gonna multitask while I wait. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me see, I have a hard time reading. Okay, good. Thanks, Kim. I was gonna say, this setup on the laptop is a little different from iPad, so I don't have a Mac HP over here, so I'm adjusting. Give it a few minutes. Might start tagging some people because tired of people telling me I don't tell them when I go live. It's pretty random, but almost always on a Friday. Look, Kim, I got my UOU shirt on. Shout out to ET. This is what I do on Friday nights now, y'all. I'm at home, might have a drink, wind down from the week, even though my weeks aren't as hard as they used to be. Still got that grown folks drink though. Let me see if Sean's gonna join. Yeah, it's just so hard to tell people when I'm gonna go live because I'm always doing some stuff. So maybe I'll try to schedule. That's the only way to be consistent, right? Hold on, Kim. Was you joining my... How do I add you? You want to be added, Kim? So you can really get down to business? Talk that talk? Let me see. I don't even know how to bring you in here. Hold on. I know how to troubleshoot. Give me a second. All right. Domino J in the house. Dang, y'all. How do I bring people in on the live? All right. I guess I can. Y'all just gonna have to comment because you said comb your hair. Right. I just got on here. Look, put some lip gloss on my dry lips, and that was it. It was on. Yeah, I don't know how many fellas I can have come on here. Let me see if I can add some people or ping them. That's usually how I can get people to jump on here. Yeah, the experience is just so different when you're on a laptop versus an Apple device. I'm still adjusting to that because it just seems easier for me to get on live. Unless I'm in the car, then it's, you know, it's whatever. Yeah, I like legit can't see where you would add someone. So I guess that's out. Look, unless somebody can send me a request, that might be what I have to do. don't see anything on here. But anywho, so basically the topics are one that I shared on Facebook a couple of days ago is about, things that gentlemen find intimidating in women. And, I love the feedback I was receiving, that I really feel like sometimes it's just a maturity thing, right? So get a little older, have a little more experience, and you realize that it's stupid, right? Like, why am I intimidated? It's like you're either in or you're not. And then sometimes, it's a misconception of who you're intimidated by. And I get it that intimidation is real. I understand that, but I just think sometimes, which is why I also added the topic about approaching, women from a female perspective, approaching a guy instead of letting him approach you, because I think sometimes they don't approach because they're intimidated, or maybe intimidation is the wrong word, and I need somebody to get on here and tell me that I'm wrong in that aspect, right? That, like, why, if you're interested, obviously, what is the reason that you don't approach the woman that you're interested in? Because I'm really curious, I've been told, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm always checking my phones, right? So you got to bear with me while I'm going live. Give me 1 second. So, hold on, you said my live's not public? Let me see. Y'all gonna have to help me out. Can somebody give me some tips on, like, these options are limited on the laptop, I swear to God. Let me see. Let me keep scrolling. I got polls, I got post details, sound, alerts, everything but how to, let me see what this plus sign does. Hopefully I don't hang up on anybody. Nope. Add columns, add tools. Let me see what that does. Yeah, this is just about alerts and stuff, so that's not what I need. And all of that stuff is turned on anyway. Let's see, viewer. Nope, that's just me. Allow viewers to message me. I think pretty much everybody that would join. Yeah, I don't know. You said it's not public. I don't know. I really don't know. Not sure on that one. See if I can bring my view back. There we go. Yeah, Kim, start tagging people. We need answers, right? Like, what's really going on? Because for the most part, I understand and respect that most women are like, look, if he's interested, he would pull up, right? And that's usually the case for me too. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I have in the past had to do the approaching, and I'm okay with that, but I'm not always going to do that. I might just be like, oh, well, he saw me over here, and it is what it is, right? Okay, let me go back to the dashboard because I can't see your messages when I'm flipping between these screens either. Should have hooked up my my monitor. Could have had a couple things going on. I probably need to do a tutorial on this mess. Let me see. Let me read the messages. Oh, sweet. Thanks, Kim. Yeah, I'm like, I can't share. I can't do anything. What the heck? Yeah, that's my thing. Shoot your shot. Like, legit. Rodney sent me a DM, and that's how I got started. From a DM. Keep in mind, I'm the type of person, like, I barely read those messages. So and he only got in because we have mutual friends. So if you just some random dude trying to shoot me a DM, I mean, you're gonna have to be persistent. You can't just shoot one message and just think something magical is gonna happen. I mean, am I wrong? Like, is that am I the only person that thinks like that? Like, it doesn't work like that. I mean, maybe in some cases, but definitely not for me. That's not enough. Send me a message telling me, hey girl, or good morning, beautiful. I know we all got that message plenty of times. Probably still getting it. Good morning, beautiful. Mm-mm. That's not original. That's not gonna work. Stop it. Unless I'm like, oh, hey, good morning. Then it's different. You get a different vibe. But everybody says that. Like, that's not enough. Stop it. Like stimulate my mind. Like, let's hold a conversation about life. Like, did you read any books recently? And if you're interested in me, it's like, do your research. Okay, guys, let me give some tips then. So until we get these guys on the line, let me give some tips. So if you're interested in the lady, do some research first, right? So for me personally, mind you, it's too late, so don't do this, but I'm just, hypothetical right now. So if you're interested in me, first of all, look at my page. You know I'm about that money, meaning like making it, educational, financial literacy, all of that. Do your research, and then you know that I am into giving back. I have been for many, many years. Let's talk about that. Like, have something to talk about, and it goes both ways, right? So if the lady is shooting her shot, do your research instead of saying, ooh, hey, boo, or, let me take you out, or I don't know. I don't know what people say anymore. I'm older, so a lot of this stuff falls on deaf ears for me, but I'm just saying that would be your starting point. Yeah, sports, right? We can discuss sports, but again, not all ladies are into sports. So you have to do your research. Give yourself a base or a foundation, right? To get the conversation started. If you're intimidated, like that's the best thing you can do. Is start off with that, and then that gets the conversation going. I mean, even if you don't know, like say for example, because you don't want to assume all guys are into sports, and maybe you like hockey and I like football, so that's two totally different conversations, right? But again, you look at my page, I don't put all my business on there, but I go to baseball games, I watch football on a regular basis. You can just say, hey, did you watch that Michigan game last night? They blew that team out. Anything but just, good morning, beautiful. You cute, or liking all my pictures. Just, I don't know. That's not enough. That's low energy. Low, way low. Low, low, low. So again, intimidation. And then you can start with that to get to know the person, and maybe it will be less intimidating. Just a thought. Let me know what you think, ladies, because again, I'm off the market, so I'm not looking for any messages. And I mean, I'm not mean, but I'm blunt, so I'm gonna tell you, like. And I told Rodney this, so this is not new news. But a guy sent me a DM talking about he loves me. I said, you don't, but that's cool. Like, stop it. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I am totally into sports. And again, don't assume, that she may not be. But again, if you do your research, and because a lot, let's just be honest, social media, people put almost every damn thing about them on social media. And if not Facebook, it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. And I'm not saying maybe your personal business, but definitely your interests. You're going to be able to pick up on something the person is interested in, because we all share stuff. So That's your starting point. But since, because I can't tell who's all on here, but ladies, let's talk about shooting your shot. Like, I've done it, let's see, if I'm being honest, probably 3 times for different reasons. And it always worked out in my favor, but I generally do not or did not do that. But I am, I guess, what they would consider alpha female, so I wasn't uncomfortable doing that. But again, for the most part, I'm pursued, which is how it should be. Because, if the guy's interested, he should be approaching. But guys are shy too. Some are just too shy, and or intimidated, or they're like, man, like, and this is another thing, ladies, like the type of guy she dates, I'm nothing like that. They don't know that you're still interested just because you don't fit what they think is your type, right? I thought I had a type until I started dating everybody that wasn't that type, right? I didn't have a list, but what I thought was my type became wider and wider and wider the older I got. It's like your taste change, in men as well. Yeah, too old to be shy, Kim. I heard that. Like, I agree. It's like, too old. We don't have time. A lot of us are busy. We have careers, we're businesses, it's a lot going on. Kids, it's too much going on to be shy. You gotta, maximize your time. I'm a big fan of not, wasting my time. Whether that be playing games or the conversation is a bust. Not gonna work. And I know a lot of ladies are like that. Like, bring your, at least your B game. Dang, even if you can't bring your A game, you at least bring B, and then we'll work on A, right? And honestly, a lot of women that are interested in you will let you know what to do and give you cues and tips on what they like, and drop little gems that you can use later. So all you got to do is put in some effort. A lot of time it's effort. That's right, Kim. Be game. I mean, come on. Maybe you can't bring A because you're nervous. I don't know. Maybe A is not it yet, but then you get a little comfortable. Then you can shoot your, really like blow it out of the water. I've had that experience too. Like, oh, okay, you was okay. Let's go. Yeah, B minimum, nothing less than B. Because at least B, I can get a feel, and it's like, okay, he nervous, or we need to get to know each other a little better, and we'll go from there. But anything less than B, that low energy, that's not gonna work. Not for grown women. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work for any women, but not the adults. That's letting you know that right now. Because we will just forget your phone number, not answer text messages, stuff like that. So just putting y'all up on game. But yeah, I will say that, ladies, shoot your shot too. Forget all that. Like, me and Kim, my friend Kim, listen, we talk about this, and I'm like, girl, listen, if I like him, I'm a step to him. That's it. Period. But like I said, I'm tired now. I'm old, and like I don't even care like that. But however, if I was on the market and it's rough out here, I know my friends remind me, like, it's crazy, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Because again, we're too old. We don't, our time, you maximizing these, we all got 24 hours. And a lot of that time is spent at work and sleeping. So the rest of the hours, you got to do what you got to do. Hold on, let me read these comments. Yeah, for sure. Kim, I agree with that. He knows when she's interested. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It's what you say, Nikki, it's definitely rough, right? And that's my point. It's like at this point, why waste time? You know, who wants to do that? Whether it's the guy or the lady, you know, no one wants to waste time. And then a lot of time when you go on these dates, there's money spent, you know, things like that. Like money you can get back, but your time you cannot. So to me, you know, the dates, like I've not necessarily on dates, but I'm okay with buying a drink or you know what have you. But a lot of times, me it's more of a because you've done it the first 20 times, and then I get the 21st. But I'm okay with that too. But you know, that's after I'm invested, you're invested, you know, and then it becomes a to me just a transaction. But you know, you got to put in that work first, guys. I mean, if you want us to, and don't get me going down that rabbit hole of how it used to be or whatever. Hold on, Kim. You called me. I can't pick you up. Hold on. Hey, friend. Can you hear me? Hold on. You called me on the line? Okay, well, you can't get in? Oh, I know. Okay, hold on. I'm putting Kim on speaker, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know how to work this on a laptop. It's crazy. I should have did it on my iPad. Hold on. Here we go. All right, Kim.
It is definitely different. So, on the laptop. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Can y'all hear Kim? Let me know in the comments.
I can, yeah. Can y'all hear Kim? Let me know in the comments. I don't want to get feedback.
Yeah, I know. That's the hard part, right? Like I got my microphone and all that stuff, but it's all I set it all up for my Apple.
Like I got my microphone.
Okay, my sister said loud and clear. Okay, so we popping.
All right. Okay. So this is my thing. Shoot your shot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel shoot your shot is for the dude.
Yep, right. We talked about this. Mm-hmm.
Yep. We talked about it. You know we talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my thing is I am very attracted to a dude that knows how to go after his prey.
Absolutely.
So to speak.
Absolutely.
So see me and I'm giving the, you know, yeah, you shouldn't, you Steph Curry out here.
Yeah, right. 3-point all day.
All day. And I'm like, I'm hitting you on your shoulder.
Giggling, right.
Rubbing your knees,
Mm-hmm.
All that. You
Yep.
ask me if I want some wine, I say yes. We drinking, conversating.
Right.
Don't ask me for my social media. Ask me for my
Oh
phone number.
my God.
It's hard in these streets, Tanika.
I believe it.
These streets.
Friend, listen. Let me tell you something. So, you know, not to be putting all my business out here, but still to this day, like I still get stuff in my DMs and it's just like, you know, like stuff I don't want to see. You know what I mean? Like, okay, sometimes it's on my business page. I'm just like, okay, hold on. I understand. Like, I have a business page, and then I have the page where I can actually add people as like a friend, right? So I did that on purpose for a reason. And sometimes I'm like, dude, if it says Tanika's Corner, do you think Tanika's Corner, like that's my personal page? Why you dropping D pics in my business DMs? And it's crazy. Like, what in what world am I supposed to be like, ooh, yeah, send me some more, or give me your number? Like, I don't get that. Like, I never got that from like guys. Why do guys do that? You know, but it's, yeah, I know it's hard, and it's and just, you know, listening to like my friends, you, family, whoever, it's like, man, like that was the experience. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I meant by that low energy. It's like no one wants to put in like what I consider real effort. Like that
Correct.
first date, it doesn't have to be perfection. But again, that's why I'm saying, like, if you are really interested in somebody, in my mind, right, block those DMs. I did. But in my mind, if you are really interested in me, you would take the time to at least get to know enough to know what I like. You know, again, I'm talking about social media. So you
Mm-hmm.
start with that and then you get to know me directly. And now you can really understand, like, okay, she only likes to do that once a year or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, let me know that you actually are invested. That to me is the
Right.
first initial serious step, right? To even
Mm-hmm.
get in the door. But again, that's just me.
And I want to know this from the fellas when they come into
Yeah.
the pod. I want to know this. Do they feel, because I don't know the data, so the ratio from men, from women to men, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure it is obviously more. And we speaking of high value people. We're not speaking of Rudy
Right.
Coop.
Yeah, yeah, the pookies. The pookies.
We ain't talking about we ain't talking about JJ just got out of jail. No, we talking about high caliber people.
Right.
So do they feel that they no longer have to pray because the ratio of women to men
Oh my God. Right?
is so high? I don't have to fight anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
I
That's a
don't
good
have to fight
question, Kim.
to be with you because there's five other women.
That's a good question. That's a good question. You know, like, that is a very good question because it's like, is that why it's more laid back or the dynamics or the, have changed? Because you're feeling like, okay, well, it's not a lot of good men out here, allegedly. So I don't have to put in that energy or that effort. I think that's a great question.
And I love Tyler Perry.
Oh
But
yeah,
did you see that post he made recently?
the one about the what did he say? The list?
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
saying women are making more
More
money these
money. Yep,
days. So
yep.
you should settle and be with the man that can only play like maybe the light bill or the cable bill.
See, Kim, I'm glad you brought that up. That's so funny because I love that because I saw that differently, and let me explain.
Please.
So in my mind, what he's saying is that too often women have this checklist, and it's like, if you don't meet all these requirements, I'm not interested. And that's what he, now keep in mind, I'm not gonna be with nobody that can only pay the light bill. That's not gonna work for me. um it just won't, because I'm not attracted to, and it's not about money, but if you don't have enough drive to step it up, meaning like bring more to the table than a light bill, it's not gonna work for me. So I don't have a checklist of, he has to make this much money, he has to drive this kind of car. I never had that because I was too busy focused on what I'm trying to do for me, right?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And I it's like, that's never a thing for me. But what he was, for me, my interpretation of what Tyler Perry was saying is that you should focus more on the love and what he's giving to you on that level, like whether it's spiritual or, because a lot of women, we've been through relationships where we're scarred and there's trauma, and you know
Mm-hmm.
and I get sometimes why women like F men, I don't want to, I don't know, the whole hate part, that's going too far to me, but the whole, I just want to be by myself. I get that and I respect that because sometimes, you've been through something and it's that bad. However, the whole just the light bill, that ain't gonna work. Not for women like us. I'll say it
Right.
that way. Because we bring stuff to the table, and the whole bringing to the table too. To me, that's a whole nother live. Um, like the 50-50, the, men want women to be like, how it was back in the day. That's a whole nother live. Because to me, that's just crazy. So you want me to work 40, 50 hours a week, take care of the kids, make sure they, tended to, meaning like, whatever it is, baths, age appropriate baths, whatever, homework, cook the meal, etc., etc., etc. The list that women are supposed to have, quotations, right? But then also bring half?
Right.
What?
Exactly.
I'm confused. So, monetarily, you want me to bring half, but you want me to do all the things that in your mind your grandmother did, and I'm supposed to still do.
I'm supposed to still do, and you want me to make your plate, and
Mm-hmm.
you want me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my thing. If let's say I do date a guy that makes less money than me,
Mm-hmm.
I want the type of guy that say, I may make less money than you
Now, right?
but I'm about to grind, because if my woman grinding, I gotta get to where she at. I want that kind of dude that has. I don't want his ego to be so far out that it's like
Yes.
overbearing, but I want your ego to say, my ego won't let me just pay the light and the water bill.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. My interpretation of what Tyler Perry was saying was that, like, I mean, I understood he said just the light bill, but it's like what the guy is pouring into you is also important. Not just he makes 5 times what that's how I took it anyway. However, since we're on that topic, and we can go ahead and spin it a little bit, is I feel like sometimes, again, people get so caught up in that, mostly women, and it's like you miss out on something great. And let me break that down a little bit. So if you're waiting for this dark skin, 6'4", 200-pound engineer, I don't know, like whatever it is, these boxes, because like I said, I don't have them. Now, the closest I ever got was, now that I'm older, was some of the characters that my father had, right? So for me, it was more that versus like physical or what they look like, or whatever. Of course, nice bodies are nice bodies, but at the end of the day, nice bodies attract a lot of the wrong people too, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, that wasn't one of my priorities per se. I want you to be healthy, but healthy doesn't always mean chiseled either,
right.
But again, I feel like a lot of times, especially, I'm just going to say it, African American women, we think this type, especially like the bad boy thing, unfortunately that's generational, like it's still ongoing, and that's not what's best for us. You have to look for the good guy and the respectful, open your door. You're not always going to get that in the dudes that you are used to dating. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if from a girl coming from a girl who had a list in her mid-20s, 30s, and if you didn't check off majority of things on that list, then I couldn't date you.
Right.
I'm one of those girls.
Right. A lot of women are like that, Kim. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
And coming into age and realizing there's a difference between understanding, or there's a difference between reality and settling. Just because that individual might have everything on your list doesn't mean that you're settling.
Nope.
Because what's the phrase? Tell God what you want.
Yep. Yep.
You can put those things on that list, and God will send you a man with all of the character that you need,
Yep, that you
is
need.
totally different
Yep.
than the physical.
Amen.
Now, I'm a girl. I know I can't do bellies. I just know I can't do a dude with a belly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what you know.
Yeah, you know what you know. Right.
Yeah, I'm not even going to pay attention. And some guys, they'll call me out on it. Oh, but you always say you ain't going to do no, you don't like no dude with no belly. There are limits to what I just know that I'm not attracted to that type of dude.
Right. And my thing is, for anybody that's saying that, like, it's like, but I'm telling you that up front, so
exactly.
Yeah. You either gonna work on it or
like you're not gonna find your dude because what if your dude is the dude with the belly? I don't think he will be the dude with the belly. And I'm not saying he gotta have a six pack.
No, but Kim.
Six pack.
Okay. So when I talk about lists, and I'm not like saying don't have some requirements. Please know I'm not saying that. Now, if that is one of your things, I think there are things that, like, for example, for me, let me just put one out there. Like, if you're not able to hold a conversation, I'll just call it what it is. If you're not intelligent, you and I are not going to work. You know? So, and I don't mean like you have to be this expert genius type. You know, it's not about that. It's just I need you to be able to hold a conversation with me and understand at least some of the basic things that I talk about, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my belly. So it's okay to have, you know, you don't have to accept what you don't want to accept. You know, so your guy needs to have, and like you said, don't have to be a six pack, just not a belly.
Just not a belly.
And that's okay.
It goes a lot into, and I'm not saying necessarily athletic, but a lot goes into something when, a lot goes into that person that works out. That means they're disciplined.
Right.
That means, you know, they can, I don't have time for you right now. I got to go do this.
Right. This is my routine, and I stick to it.
Routine. And I'm not, as much as I love you, you can't break my routine. To me, that's sexy as hell. Go do your thing there, bro.
Right, because, but guess what?
Go work on your business.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, Kim. Like, but guess what? You're benefiting from that person sticking to their routine, right?
Yes.
Because that's what you want. And that's the thing. Like, I hate that a lot of times stuff like that, people get so caught up on not fitting this particular person's criteria. How about, because you don't fit that criteria, that just simply means that person is not for you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You know? It is what it is. It's life, you know, that's how it works. It's almost, to me, and maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but to me, it's just like not qualifying for a job, right? If you don't have the degree or experience or whatever, you're probably not going to get the job. It's the same thing. And it's okay. Like, you just move on to the next job. Apply for another job.
Apply for another job.
Or do something about that belly.
Know that you're not experienced for the job that you want, and go get the experience. Go get certifications.
That's what I just said. Go do something about that belly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when that job comes along, because it will come along.
Right.
You'll have the course, you'll have the certification to apply for that job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, you know, I'm not a fan of having a list where they have to check all the boxes, but I'm also a fan of having some basic things that you're like, no, I'm not doing that. Like I said, every woman has, you know, whether they want to admit it or not, there are certain things that you're attracted to, and that's natural, right? Like I said, if you're not intelligent, meaning, like I said, for me, it's when my conversation with you has to be something I want to continue, right? So if that on that first date that it's like a lot of silence and awkwardness, and It's just like, because I'm an easygoing person. Like, I feel like I'm going to make it easier for you to converse with me, but if we can't hold conversations, I'm not gonna shut you down that first date, but the second date, maybe a third if you make it that far, it ain't it, and that should be okay. Like, we gave it a shot, it didn't work. Everybody is not for everybody. Just like I know I'm short. You might like tall girls. Like, what am I supposed to be upset with you because I'm 5'2" and you want somebody that's 5'10"? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna force my 5'2" on you. Like, that makes no sense. But yeah, to me it's the same thing. Because guys have, preferences. So we have ours too. So we have to stick to them. But like I said, that I knew you was gonna say something about the Tyler Perry, and I was just like, man, I think he's saying it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's saying to settle. It's more of a, don't get so caught up on what, it not being the checklist. And again, my thing is, I would fully support, say, I don't know, a guy want to go back and get a master's. So I'm gonna hold down the household while you pursue that, right? Because guess what? That's going to benefit both of us,
right?
And our children, depending on the circumstance. So to me, that makes sense. If I can afford to hold on, we might have to tighten up, and that's okay. But for you to go get that master's, so we can level up, that makes sense to me. But if you are only, what I would say falls into a Pookie category, if you are only able and willing, let me say that too, willing to pay, and we just use it for the sake of the audience, we're referencing a Tyler Perry post. If you're only able and willing to pay the light bill, that's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work.
Not for us. So no, sir. You're going to have to do something else. Go find somebody else. Do it somewhere else or something. Yeah. It's not going to work.
Do it.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure somebody or someone will be okay with that. Just not us.
Just not us.
Yeah, just move on. Find the next one and, happy life.
And let me say this to the ladies, too.
Yeah.
Say the guy is holding down the fort. I mean, you're holding down the fort while he gets his master's degree.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with knowing that you're a season or you're a chapter. Don't get mad at that man during that time.
All right now.
He gets his master's and then he has his master's and he may break up with you.
Yep.
Or it start not to, work. You were just at that season, boo, and that's okay.
Yep. I mean, it hurts, but that's true too. It's true. That's true. Sometimes that's just how the cards land, right? The dominoes.
That don't make you less than. That don't make how. What makes her better than me?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope. Cause and again, like I feel like I mean, I'll talk about myself because, a lot of times people be thinking you're talking about them and you really not. You don't care. But for me personally, I want to continue to evolve. Like, I feel like you should always be growing, right? And I'm not saying that, it has to be anything drastic or, super life altering, but I feel like you should always be growing in some area. It does not have to be the same for everybody. But with that said, if this person, I'll say levels up and goes and gets a master, you stick by them, everything is working out until it's not, right? That is part of life. So don't be so devastated, I'll use that word, that it prevents you from moving, like you said, Kim, that chapter in your life, moving on from that chapter and blocking your blessings, right? Because maybe that person was just in for that season or seasons, right? You will find your person.
Yes.
So don't get so hung up on, I did this for them, I did that, I waited, I was patient, if they're willing to, put all that aside and leave you behind for someone new that they don't know, or from the past, that just wasn't meant to be.
Right.
And I know that's hard to deal with for a lot of people because, you feel, it's almost like you feel, what's the word I want to use? Entitled, to the fruits of that labor. Now, ideally, yes, you should be, right? Because you committed to it, just as much as the person that's studying for the, master's, PhD, whatever it is, that's the plan, but sometimes it changes. Don't get me wrong, you'd be pissed off because you're human, but you have to get over it, because if that person's not willing to work things out, or stick it out, or maybe now it's your turn, boo, go get your master's or whatever you want to do, certification, whatever it is, then it is what it is. You can only control you, right?
So you the point, and I want to ask you this. Okay. So say, for example, the two of you both have bachelor degrees. You're still making more money than him. So he says, "Bae, I want to pursue my master's."
Yep.
Do you say okay, or do you say, "I'm gonna hold down the fort while he pursues his master's"? I don't have a master's.
Well, I think that's where the conversation comes in, right? And a lot of times in relationships, I feel like people don't communicate properly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and when you're younger, I know, we struggle. We don't know what we want for ourselves. But if you in your like late 30s, 40s, come on, man, like talk it through. And maybe you don't answer it right away. Let me sleep on it. Whatever's going to work for you in your relationship. But I mean, Kim, honestly, I'm like, whatever is going to work for us and what makes sense to us is what we decide. Forget what everybody else thinks, whatever, societal, expectations or whatever, because that's also, something that I think is a part of our demise, is that we're so busy worrying about, as they, used to say, the Joneses, like what they do and what worked for them. That may not work for you. Maybe your calling or your path is entirely different. So, hey, you go get your master's. But I feel you on that. Like, I think, like, let's talk about that money piece, because I feel like a lot of times it is, about who's making more money. So, ideally, and I say ideally because my expectation is that who I'm with is the breadwinner. But you're going to know that before we become a couple. So I am a great communicator, as you know.
Yes, you are.
So I'm going to lay all that out for you before you commit to me in a relationship. So my expectation is that who I'm with is the breadwinner. And let me break that down too, because some guys, the money, whatever. First of all, I make my own money. Okay? I make good money. So it's not about the money.
Right.
My thing is, my father was a provider. So my expectation is that you're also a provider, no matter what I bring to the table, right? So whatever I'm bringing to the table financially should be a plus. Not, oh man, we ain't gonna be able to eat if you don't go to work. And when I say don't go to work, meaning like if I'm short, we might not be able to pay a bill. That's where I'm going with it. So my expectation is that you're a provider. Now, on the flip side, I feel like those roles that we want to label for men and women need to be thrown in the trash, because we're in a day and age where a lot of African American women are making more money than African American men. And then two, and more educated. And I'm not saying all. I don't want nobody to be like bashing me about it. I'm just talking statistically. So, like, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to, like, because I love black men, so don't get it twisted. But I'm just saying, statistically, that is the case. So, again, when you are in an adult, committed relationship, I have to stress that. Mm-hmm. There needs to be conversation. And, like, it does, really, to me, once you're committed and things are working, it doesn't matter who makes what, because you're pooling all your money together anyway. And when I say all, I mean like every single dollar, but to take care of your household, to make sure the kids camp is paid for, in my case, my daughter's mathnasium, like piano lessons, that's what I'm saying. Like, that kind of stuff is a household item. And right, without getting off too many, topics in one conversation, I'm a fan of the household account. I have my account, you have your account. Because the household account is going to take care of the bulk of things, right? Whereas the individual accounts is if I want to blow my money on a $200-300 pair of boots. Mm-hmm. That's on me. But it didn't cause any bills to not get paid or nothing being delayed or anything. That's the money you go do whatever you want to do with it, and I don't care, right? But again, a lot of us being, and when I say us, I'm really going back to women. Don't get so caught up on him making a set amount of dollars. And let me just put us out there. Sis, if you want him to make that money, you're going to have to support him to go be able to make that money. Meaning, like, go get that master's, go get that certification, go for that promotion or whatever. Hell, if you have the skill, coach him on it. Help him do a practice interview. Whatever it is, if you want him to make that money, support that man and help him make that money.
Yeah. And that goes back to your season. Sometimes
yeah. Yep.
You're there to help him.
Right.
That doesn't mean that y'all gonna be together forever.
Never. Nothing's guaranteed.
Right.
Oh.
Reflecting. I'm a big self-reflection. Like, was there anything that I could have done differently?
Right.
And if I'm also a believer in God, if God says, well done, that's what you were supposed to do in that relationship, was to help him and show him that he can ask for help, that he can receive help.
Yep.
And you were the helper in that. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what? You'll be blessed in that way, right?
In that way, that's what I was just saying. Because the next dude your dude that you're supposed to be with is gonna say, "Babe, you can stop if you want to. I got it all." Right. And some of us women, and let me just say this, because some of the dudes be thinking we own this. I don't need no man, and blah 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 blah. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying it in that way. It's just that sometimes we have grown up. A lot of us have seen our mothers do it on their own. Exactly.
And they were able to do it alone. But here's the thing, Kim. Here's the thing. Some women will say that, but they don't speak for all of us.
No, they don't speak.
I want a partner.
And even the women that say it don't mean it that way.
Well, let me tell you something. Well, you need to, again, communicate better, because that's really like the trend, right? Like, successful women who are independent, it's like we're all painted into this box that we don't belong in. Because I'll just say any successful woman that in their right mind they do want a partner because that makes you more successful. And when I say that, meaning like the right partner, not just anybody, but the right partner is going to leverage you in whatever you need. Like for me, again, I'll speak for myself. I've learned so many things. I know how to do like WordPress on my own. I know how to, modify and build my own website. Like just little, just basic things. And sure, I could have went out and learned it on my own. But when you have somebody right there, you be like, "Look, babe, what? I'm stuck right here. Like, dang, I tried this, this, and this. I'm a troubleshooter. I'm stuck. Oh, try this. Oh, boom, that worked. Like just simple stuff. Like a lot of time, it's unfortunate, but it doesn't take a lot to make us happy. Like especially when you got it going on, it's like I just need you there as support. Not financially. Like I need you there to back me up, be my cheerleader, my soundboard, be there when I'm breaking down because work, people crazy and I'm sick of this shit, stuff like that. It's like you need somebody to talk to that you can, vibe with and be like, you know what, am I tripping? Should I quit? Or maybe that's just me. But it's like, you need that in your life, like when you're successful, like when you are a professional person, you want someone, or should, I think, someone that's in your life. Girlfriends are great. We all talk and we vibe and we feed off of each other, and all that. But then your partner, though, that's a different type of connection.
Yeah.
When it's right. So, yeah. Because you should be benefiting from each other. It shouldn't be one way. It should be two way.
But I think a lot of men, I don't know if corporate is the word I'm looking for, but they think their value is in money.
I know. But Kim, you know why that is?
I think when some women say, I don't need you.
Right.
I'm thinking they saying, I don't need you for that.
Right.
They value themselves in money. I got the
right.
money.
Right. Right.
I need you to be loyal. I need you to be committed.
Loyal. Oh my God. Yes.
Can you do that for me?
Right.
That's what I need.
Exactly. And that is really, hell, I feel like this is like a little therapy session. We might have to call some people in because I think there's confusion, because I feel you on that. So in that regard, when women say, the ones that do say, I don't need a man, like financially, like singular, that category, not the other stuff, right? So yeah, that's so important because, like I said, in our community, it's like, I mean, obviously we have extremes. You got I'm choose my words correctly because I don't want Facebook to ban me, but you got the one end where it's a lot of ratchetness, right? And then you got the other end where women are, thriving and they want to be professional, right? So I think sometimes those lines get blurred, and I'm not saying guys put all women in one category because they don't, but unfortunately there's so much of the other side that sometimes their treatment is like, oh, you're like that. No, actually I'm not. I want you to get to know me. I want us to talk about it. I like you. Hopefully you like me. Let's, see where this goes. But it comes down to communication. I just feel like that's a lot of what needs to happen, right? We need to talk to each other and not be like, don't listen to respond, listen to like understand.
Say that.
Right? Because a lot of times it's that too. It's like you already have in your mind what you want to say, so you're not even really listening to me.
No.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. So we just have to find, like I said, and I think the whole like intimidation and approaching and all that ties into all of this because, and I get it too. Nobody wants to be rejected. They don't. Like, that's not a good feeling. But at the same time, you have to shoot your shot.
You have to.
Because otherwise, nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. Like, if I'm not going to do it, you're not going to do it, we might be the perfect match. But we will never know because no one's going to
shoot the shot.
Yeah, like walk up, DM or whatever. I keep saying DM, by the way, because that's just the world we live in, whether it be a Facebook DM, Instagram, whatever it is. That's just what we do now. You don't even really have to have anybody's phone number anymore. You can call them on Messenger if they don't have it blocked.
But, Tanika, this is my question.
Yeah.
If they can do it back in high school, they took you to Applebee's, and they took you to Showcase Cinema West.
I still like Applebee's, by the way. So ain't nothing wrong with Applebee's, guys. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
They asked you out. They asked you home, or they asked you on a date. They took you to Applebee's. They took you to Showcase Cinema East and West. And that's high school.
I know.
So what was the shift?
Kim, listen. That's the $1 million question, right? Where did we go wrong? And a lot of people say social media.
I just think that's a scapegoat.
I think so too because at the end of the day, and don't get me wrong, like, for example, now this is me older though. If you don't go out, you're not going to see anybody. There's no opportunity to, like, engage with me unless it's social media, right? Because I'm not out for you to see me anywhere. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, again, I can't stress enough, if you're interested in someone, and no, I'm not on the market, just for the record, but if you're interested in someone, you have to figure out how to reach out to them. Whether it's in person, say, I go to church on Sundays, again, this is where you do your research. Like I was mentioning earlier, for those who join later, but you do, to me, that's an investment. You take the time to do your research. Like, because again, the world we live in now, people post something. It may not be all their business, but they post enough for you to get to know them at least a little bit. And that's your starting point, your foundation, as I was saying. That's what you start with to engage with that person. Unless, maybe you guys went to high school together, college or something, and that could be your foundation. Like, how have you been since high school? How have you been since college? That could be your end. But if you don't have that, like, you don't have that mutual or common background, you start with maybe what you see on socials. Because everybody's on some form of social. It might just be Facebook. It might just be Instagram. But TikTok may not be a good example. But there's some way or some end that you have. But again, I don't know where that got lost, the courting piece. A lot of it just, I don't know. And maybe it's on the women who allowed that shift. I know they don't want to hear that, but I think sometimes we allowed that shift, and now men don't have to do any of that.
Can I give you my theory?
Yes, ma'am, please.
I believe it started to shift. It took a long time to shift, but I think because so many men are being brought up by women and women home, they haven't been taught how to do that.
But
so
go ahead, finish.
Whether you intentionally or subconsciously pick up like Pop said, you're going to pick up mannerisms of your mother if
Correct.
That's all who you're with.
Yep. I agree with that.
So he doesn't know how to approach a woman because a woman is not supposed to approach a man. Therefore, he don't know how to approach.
Yep.
Because he hasn't seen a man do it. Or a man hasn't told him how to do it. That's like now so many people say, oh, why you don't see kids, the boys, walking down the street with a lawnmower or with a shovel during the snow time, asking to shovel the driveway.
Right, make a few bucks, right?
Mom,
Or to just do it. Yeah.
He don't know how to do it. He don't
Yep.
do it.
Yep. I agree with that part.
So
The only piece I was gonna chime in on, like, no, but I hear you though, because I agree with that. Like, only a man can show a young man how to be a man. We can't do that. It's just impossible. We can't. I mean, we can make suggestions, and I know there's been plenty of men raised amazing, you know, they grow up to be amazing men by single mothers, but at the same time, like, that is meant for the father to do, right?
yeah.
Whereas what I wanted to say, and I didn't want to cut you off, is that I think also though that some men that are raised by a single mother also pick up some good qualities because they see what their mom went through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when they do find a partner, girlfriend, or whatever, they have that already instilled in them, and they don't want to put that on her, right? So I think it's like a gift and a curse, you know. And shout out to the single mothers that did their thing, because there's a lot of you that, you know, you shouldn't have to do that, but you have to do what you have to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I agree. It's both. It's both. Like, you didn't have, and sometimes maybe you had an uncle or a grandpa or, you know, whoever that invested that time. But again, if you don't have that, it does make it harder to grow up and know what to do, you know. And not saying women can't try to teach that, so I don't want to take that away from them, but it just wasn't naturally set up that way. And again, it doesn't have to be the dad. It could be the granddad, it could be the uncle, it could be a coach, it could be a pastor, it could be a, you know, older cousin, you know, anything, you know. But that's why it's so important to have both, because you really need both, and that goes for sons and daughters, in my opinion. You need both.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not even reading these comments. Let me see. I am so sorry. Like, I am not a good host. I'm trying, y'all. Y'all got to be patient with me, because I really want to start my podcast, and Kim has hers, and, you know, we gonna tag team it probably a lot of times, you know, because these topics, man, it's like we need to talk about this stuff. That's why, you know, I'm like, let's get down to business. Like, what we gonna do? Like, what's the plan, y'all? And I got to get off in a minute, because my daughter probably up there still on Roblox. She probably going live herself. I don't know. I'm about to check in, but like, we got to change something, like the dynamic. I mean, and it starts with us, right? Like, we have to be the example, and of course, you know, instill this in your kids, you know. But you got to walk the walk and talk the talk, right? And I promise y'all, my daughter's 9, and this little girl gonna be a beast. I don't know what y'all gonna do with her, but once I'm done with her, that's on y'all. So I don't want nobody coming to me talking about, damn, Khaleesi, she just don't play no games. No, she don't play no games. Like, she not gonna be with the bull. She, you know, like, that's who I'm raising. Like, and really, she's very respectful. Don't get me wrong. My daughter's always gonna be very respectful, but she's not going to be with the BS. That's just what it is, you know.
She's not with it.
She's not with it now, right, Kim? At 9, like, so that's why I say I don't know what y'all gonna do with her when she's an adult, because at that point I've done my job. But it's just, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, and a lot of times, let's just be honest, the younger generation, they don't want to hear what we got to say. So it's like, how do you get through to 20 somethings when, I mean, some are receptive, don't get me wrong, but there's so many that are not. So it's like, how do I, as a willing participant, and this is my charger, I'm trying to like switch between devices, but as a willing participant to be that, because now, you know, we're older. I'm in my 40s, so I'm falling into that elder category, you know, so I'm kind of like straddling the middle. But how do I provide my experiences and my feedback to someone who's not receptive? to listen to it. Like, I'm really here to help you. Like, I want to help you avoid the pitfalls that I went through, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said, Kim, that's my girl, you know, like I have a group of lady friends. You know, we all talk, we get together when we can, you know, everybody life be lifing. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's when we hold our conversations and stuff, and we do, because we for one respect each other, we have these conversations, and it's like we're doing, you know, great amongst us because we have this support system. But for those who don't have that, it's like, you know, people are weird sometimes too, let's just be honest. But but it's like I want to pour into the younger generation, but they just, I don't know, they doing the most, y'all. Like, how do we change the narrative? Go ahead, Kim. I'm sorry, you were about to say something.
Oh, I was laughing. Like, yeah. But everything you're saying is true. Like, I think, and I apologize in advance for putting, maybe this is part of the problem too, putting a lot of pressure on men. But the men have to step up.
No, but I agree 1000% because that is the role, that is the natural role.
That is the natural role.
That is the natural role. So, yes, that is what needs to happen, but how do we get there? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get there when, and it's a commitment, right? Because we, just like we talked about, a lot of kids grow up in a single parent household, and shout out to the dads that take on that responsibility, because I feel like now, you know, of course it was going on before, but even more so now, a lot of moms like, look, shit, there go your baby, here you go, good luck, you know what I mean? So a lot of young men, I mean, I got cousins that are doing it, so it's like they take on the responsibility as the, you know, primary parent. So whether it's the mother or the father, it's like, how do we raise these kids to understand, you know, like, hey, right now you're just a kid, right? But you still also have some responsibility in doing A, B, and C. And then you, when you become an adult, these are the new ABCs, right? So it's just, I feel like we just have to pour back into those generations, because a lot of times, hell, if I had a me, let me be clear. If I had a me growing up, man, listen, I'd have been blowing this out of the water, you know, but I didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had great parents, but they're not perfect. But at the same time, you know, they did their best, and that's all I could ever ask. Now I'm doing my best, which my parents' expectation is that I poured into you so that you can then pour into your child, and so on and so forth, right? It's supposed to get better every generation. But when you don't have that, you don't have people pouring into you, you have an empty cup, right? And this is where I feel a lot of things go left. You don't have that support system, you know? You don't have anyone to talk to about these things. And this is why I think me and Kim, you know, we go live. I mean, a lot of it too is just because we're curious, but a lot of it is, you know, maybe somebody needs to hear this, you know, and, you know, I need to go live on some financial stuff too, because in my mind, you know, in our community, it's like a lot of people are not financially literate, right? And when I say that, it's no disrespect, because I don't expect people to know what I know. I have so many years of banking experience from my career that I don't expect anybody to know that. However, a lot of people, you'd be so surprised, that don't know the basics. And it's like, it shouldn't be like that. So if you don't know the basics, how can you ever build generational wealth, or how can you ever have, you know, investments or a nest egg, or a real estate portfolio, or a 529 for your kid? You know, like, if you don't understand the importance of that, you're never gonna, I mean, like, you don't know, and then you can't teach your kids and your kids' kids, and so on and so forth. So that's just stuff I'm passionate about. But again, if and this is just me being, facetious, but if we as people did better with building these relationships, that alone is going to put us in on another playing field. Because let's just be honest, when you're building something with someone else that's on the same page as you, in the same common ground, and you guys have those same goals, you're winning right there. You're ahead of the game just by doing that. Whether it be, you guys buy a house together. First of all, please get married. And then you buy a house, you do this, you do that. You have these investments, you're building, those things. It's a hell of a lot easier when it's two of you versus one.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I started off singular. I was doing okay. Don't get me wrong. I did pretty decent. But it's a hell of a lot easier when you're a couple, and I'll say a power couple, because that's what your end goal should be, right?
Shout out to Rodney.
Okay, hello, hey boo. You probably ain't watching, but hey, yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's really what the end game should be. And again, to each his own. But I'm just telling y'all, like, again, this is just me sharing my experience. Like I've done it alone for a very, very long time. I raised my nieces, singular, got my little granddude / nephew. Shout out to Tyrese Jones. And everybody's thriving, but can you imagine what we could have been if I had a partner like I do now? Man, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Khaleesi's gonna benefit from all of that, but and don't get me wrong, Tanae and Tatiana are amazing. Like, I love them to death. They're amazing mothers. They're doing their thing. But yeah, it's just, Khaleesi, she gonna be a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Cause her mom is gonna make sure she look, your sons are not gonna be able to come to my daughter talking about, boo, I'll buy you this and that. She be like, man, listen, you know how much my portfolio is right now?
Right.
Like, she ain't gonna be like that. I hope not. But at the end of the day, in her mind, she'll know. You know what I'm saying? She will know. Like, my mom has been investing in me since I was born. No joke. So yeah, that's I'm raising a trust fund baby. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But again, you have to pour back into your community, pour into your children, be a mentor. That I'm huge on that too. I do it at work. I do it personally, all of that. Young women around me, I give them that feedback because they need it, and it's, when I say young women, I'm not talking about just teenagers. I'm talking about 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds, because they need someone that is doing it and who understands, and I don't judge, I'm never judging. I'm just providing the feedback that you're asking me for. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But again, kind of off topic, but the same.
Yeah.
We got to do something different, y'all. And like I said, I need to be more consistent with the lives. But y'all know, if y'all watching my social media at all, look, I got my hands in so much stuff I can't even keep track of it. It's like, whoo. Look, him know. It's like, whoo. It's always something. Then I try to squeeze some fun in, like I'm trying to go to Vegas, and ain't no trying to. I'm going to Vegas in November. I already got tickets and stuff. But yes, ma'am.
Hallelujah.
I'm finally going, girl. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, life be lifing, y'all. It be lifing, and it's not gonna stop. So, I guess my takeaway for this, for the audience or whoever watches my live after, because I get a bunch of, views after the fact. But my thing is, I want y'all to do some homework. Like, listen, what can we do? And please leave comments, because I do read them like later. I may not be able to respond to them all, but what can we do different? I mean, like, collectively. It doesn't have to be an individual thing. Like, I think a lot of young people And I hate when people say you have to be married to give a couple advice. You really don't, though.
No.
You don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's probably ideal to get it from another married couple, but that doesn't mean their advice is good, does it? It doesn't automatically make their advice good because they're married. You don't know what's going on in their household.
Right.
Or what their intentions are. You know, they may not want to see you happy because they're miserable. Like, a lot of times people don't show that to you, but it's happening, right? They put on a, Nikki, what do we used to call it? God, what do we used to call it? The representative. They will show you the representative, but that's not what's really going on. That's not who they really are, right? So, again, you know, and again, you need to be able to trust the person. Don't just listen to anybody. Don't just follow people on social media. Don't just, you know, like, you got to vet these people, right? So you have to find someone you trust. And unfortunately, it's not always the person you've been knowing for years.
Very true.
Sometimes those people are snakes too. And they got your back until you're doing better than them.
Ooh.
That's another topic, right?
Out, Tamika.
I know. I need to get off this damn live, but that's just life, right? And like I said, you know, I'm in my 40s, so I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot, and it's not just me. It's my friends. You know, their experiences, what they've gone through. So when you watch people you love go through stuff, you internalize that, you know, because you don't want to see them down or miserable or going through a heartbreak. But again, because you've gone through the experience with them, you can speak to it. That's, to me, that's just what it is. But like I said, I'll do another live. I'll try to commit to Friday nights, if people are interested in that, because this is how I spend my Fridays now. But yeah, we collectively as a community, we got to do better. We have to do better. And please, 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 for anyone who is intimidated or who is shy, and I'm not saying stop being shy, because you just can't sometimes, but you have to take that next step if you're interested in someone and you don't know what that relationship is going to blossom into. I mean, if it doesn't, that's okay too. And again, rejection is, to me, just a normal part of life. No, it's not fun. It doesn't feel good, but you're going to be rejected from a lot of things, job opportunities, business opportunities. You know, that's just life. It's okay. Move on.
I think if you are shy, I think you gave homework. I think this is for the shy people.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been shy.
Me either.
So I don't know what, like, my son is shy.
Mm-hmm.
But what goes on in their head, especially grown people.
Oh,
so
yep.
Homework. Commit to being with someone, not in a relationship. I mean, hanging around, going out with an extrovert.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, I have a story about that too.
I'm not saying be in a relationship. I'm saying find you someone at work,
Mm-hmm.
find someone at the gym, find you someone and allow them to be your mentor. They're going to show you that. I think a lot of shy people think people are always watching them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I told Christian, my son, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. They not looking at you.
Not Otis. But that's for real. And even if it's not just watching, it's more of the rejection piece.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, you know, and when the shy piece and not wanting to feel awkward or, you know, whatever, I respect that. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying just turn that shy off. That it doesn't work like that. But at the same time, at some point, you have to get beyond that so you can move forward. Because if you don't, guess what? Extroverts like me, we're always going to take your spot. We're always going to take your spot because I'm going to randomly approach the person I don't know, hey, I'm Tanika Bell. Nice to meet you. Like, how long have you worked here? Because there's a couple of ladies at work. I spotted them out when I was in the office the other day. I said, oh, I don't know this person or that person. We're on the same floor. You're a couple of rows down from me. I'm going to holler at them the next time I'm in the office, right? But that's my thing. Like, if you don't take those opportunities to come out of your shell, the extrovert is always going to step up and take your spot. Because we're not afraid to go talk to the stranger, or we're not afraid to, speak up and feel that awkwardness in that moment. So that I think I made a post about it today or yesterday, how I'm okay with being uncomfortable temporarily. So I'll be uncomfortable so I can reach the goal that I'm trying to accomplish. That's just life. I don't know how to do everything. No one does. But in order to learn how to do something, I may have to go through an uncomfortable period of time to get to that next level, right? And sometimes that requires you engaging with people to learn from them and let them know you don't know, right? Because some people want to always have the answer, but you don't know what you're talking about. And people like me can see through that, right? It's okay to not know, though. Like, I'm not going to say, what? You don't know that? I'm not that kind of person. But don't pretend you know, because now I'm looking at you sideways, right? Yeah. But the shyness, shy people are going to be shy, but sometimes you have to pick those opportunities or those moments where you have to take yourself out of that so that you don't miss out on something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, that was me on a long-winded answer. Yeah.
Very good conversation.
Yeah, I think so too. And like I said, I am, gang, me, I will set something up real quick, be like, let's all meet up at such and such so we can, vibe and talk about real life, instead of BS. Like, what are we going to do to change things? Because, like I said, I feel, again, this is my opinion, a lot of our issues are self-inflicted. We have to come out of that and, figure it out. And then, you could be a shy person, but you're not shy around certain people. Ask those people for advice, like, hey, what can I do different? How do I approach this person or the situation? Or, away from the shyness piece, it's like sometimes egos get in the way, right? So you're not going to approach this person, and this is for males or females, because you think, oh, well, if they want to talk to me, they should come over here, right? And then that opportunity, whether it's business, personal, you want to maybe get to know this person better, whatever it is, it's not going to come into fruition because you won't take the next step because you think the other person should. You know how many opportunities you'll miss out on if you just always wait?
Mm-hmm.
It's endless. Time is waiting for no one, people, okay? Like, this is why I don't waste my time on anything.
Yeah.
And Kim knows this.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every single moment of my day, now don't get me wrong, sometimes I binge watch shows and shit because I need to turn my brain off. But for the most part, I am always doing something to better myself or my daughter. Mm-hmm. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say better myself, that might be pouring into my relationship. That might be pouring into, I bought these 10 books and I ain't read none of them. I need to start cracking these books open. It could be me watching a course. It could be me tapping in on socials, because the way my business is set up, whether I want to be on social all the time or not, I have no choice now. Like, that is how the world works now. Like, to get people engaged, know your products or whatever you offering, social media is the way. And guess what? It's free. It ain't gonna always be free. Do y'all know right now? And again, I'm gonna get off because we've been on this live, but right now, social media, and don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about Facebook ads and all that, because I do pay for some of that stuff too, but I'm talking about the whole pushing your products. That's why y'all see me on Tanika's Corner, and I'll just keep posting like the items I have in my store, because that's free. When I'm on my business page, that costs me money. Those are ads. You have to pay for that. Whereas on my other page, I can just post that stuff for free, and it goes into the algorithm and the SEO and all that. That's y'all gonna have to pay me a couple dollars to get into that, but that is why I do it the way I do. But at the end of the day, that's still me investing in my business. I don't have time to, like do anything really for free. Let's just be honest. However, I'm willing to do that if it's going to be something positive and have a positive impact on my community or the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's facts. If you know me, you know I'm not lying about that. I've been doing it for years. And I don't expect anything from it. I'm not looking for no accolades or shit. I do a lot of stuff in silence. But it can't just be me. It can't just be Kim. We're only two people. It takes a collective. We need a community to make these changes.
Yes.
It's almost like we need to start a members only club or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Have $5 membership. We can get it popping.
Yeah, we can.
Like, don't play. All right, but I'm
simple it is to open a checking account. Do you know how many young people I saw post during that Cash App?
Kim, I saw. And it's funny because when it was going down, I was sick. But then when I was coming out of my stupor, I saw your post because you tagged me and somebody else. I was like, you know what? Let me pull this up real quick. Oh my God. And that's why I did that post after you said that, because, and this is where I'm talking about that financial literacy piece. You guys will be surprised how many people don't understand their options. I'll say it that way, because I'm never trying to be disrespectful when I'm saying that, but it's like so many people don't understand the options they have, and I'm still learning, don't get me wrong, but my learning is more so on the business side, because I need to understand those opportunities so I can then turn around and teach it to somebody else, because it's so much money out here, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, other people have been doing it for years. I'll just leave it at that. But, yeah. I'm talking about your taxes, how you invest, triggering events that you have to report on your taxes, like simple stuff, like taking loans against your assets. Like, whew. Trust me, y'all want me to go ahead and research this so I can bring it back to the masses, because when I was at InvestFest, I still got so much stuff I need to unload from that. But basically, they talked about, going to the mountaintop and always reporting back. Like, the higher you go up, the more you should be relaying the information down to those who don't know. And that's really what I've been trying to do, and I will continue to do. But yeah, so we got to pick this back up. And Curtis, I appreciate you. Now, Curtis, that's my homeboy, y'all. We grew up on York Street. I've been knowing Curtis. Listen, I've been knowing Curtis since we were like little kids, okay? So I know his parents, and I know what he's talking about. And that's the thing, like, that's the beauty of it, because, we grow up in, different neighborhoods, some of us, and then some of us in the same neighborhood, and we all turn out different, right? We all went in different directions and had different paths, but we all, like, we still connected. Like, me anyway, like me, Curtis, and plenty. I wish I would have tagged Donnie before I got on here, but a lot of us are still cool, and we still, it's a I'll just say it, like a forever love that you have for your childhood friends. But again, like I said, we just have to figure out how to support each other, and for those who want, I'll say for those who want the feedback in regards to, you might have a friend be like, look, I'm feeling this chick. Like, I don't even know how to approach her. Reach out to me and Kim. We got you. We can do a collective consultation. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's all love. It's all love. So, and I mean that. It might take me a minute to get to you, but I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah. But yeah, let me get off this live, y'all, because I got to go check on my kids. She be too quiet sometimes, so I be having to see what's going on.
Yeah, hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, but that's cool. Like I don't mind it. Like I said, I'll try to and if people have any topics they want us to touch on, like whether I can do it, because sometimes Kim, she's more consistent with it than I am. And I, I'm just gonna always be transparent. She might be able to cover it, and I'll just chime in. I might jump on her live, but it's like I said, it's just so much to unpack, and it's these are the conversations we need to continue to have in order to get better.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that was fun.
Yep, we'll do it again. Like I said, I'll try to now I don't know, next Friday I gotta look at my calendar, but it might be I might be the 2 week go live girl or something. Every 2 weeks because I got a game to go to. I got some stuff I got going on Friday, and I can't always commit to 9 o'clock, but I'll definitely try to at least every other Friday. That way, it's some consistency, and everybody know look when to get ready. And I'm gonna start pinging some people, like I said. And you can always comment after the fact because the live I usually leave it up for I think it's 30 days or something that Facebook defaults to that you can do. But yeah, let's keep the conversation going.
All right. I'll call you sometime tomorrow, Tamika.
All right, sounds good. And thanks everybody for their participation. I appreciate y'all. Talk to everybody later.
All right.